Mrs. Salome Acheju Abu, after the declaration of results and the purported winning of the governor of Kogi State, that APC hoodlums still chased her to her house, poured petrol on her and her house, and burnt her to death in the clear view of security agents. You have all seen the viral videos that came out of her skeleton and especially her skull that was shown on the floor of her house for the mere fact that she is an opposition leader and a woman at that. Our problem is not the fact that people can seek to vie for election. But our problem is that if you're in opposition and you are singled out to be murdered, then it tells us that what we are going to see coming will be very, very dangerous for Nigerians if this is not curbed immediately and now. And so we are taking this opportunity to call on Mr. President to direct the Inspector General of Police and other security agencies to immediately fish out the killers of this poor lady whose only offense is that she is the woman leader of PDP in that particular environment. Because what it tells us is that the rest of us who are all opposition are no longer safe. What it also tells us is that anybody who seeks to win an election can go ahead, commit murder and mayhem, and so long as you belong to the APC, you will be left to go free. We hear that the police have said that they are launching an investigation as usual. But this is something that we don't want to be put under the carpet because it involves life. A lot of people, Senator Dino, I have spoken with him. He also told me that his nephew and other people were killed in the same election, in the same Kogi State. And so we ask ourselves, when you get to power on the ashes and on the bones of all these people that you have killed, God is also there watching you, especially for the governor of Kogi State, because we cannot continue to condone. The Senate had taken time in the last Senate, in the 8th Senate, when there were also attacks on PDP senators at that time within their different constituencies, when they were doing constituency projects, and they were attacked by the same thugs. Now they have gone one notch further. If we leave the matter to continue to stay this way, we don't know what is going to happen in 2023. So we call on the government of the day to match their words with action. Let us see that some people have been arrested and tried for this murder. We also want to say, for the INEC, all that we have seen in all the elections that are going on up to this moment is a steady decline in the efficacy of our elections. I do not know how INEC can accept the figures that came out of those elections. We have been in touch with our colleagues everywhere. We have been in touch with the people both in Bayelsa and in Kogi State. And they have reassured us that whatever we saw as results were nothing but fiction, something written somewhere, and then they brought it in to announce, and then they declare winners. So the caucus of the PDP in the Senate, we want to bring this to you and to tell you that we are not, we are in, I will say, totally resolved to confront these anomalies that are happening in our electioneering and election management in Nigeria. You can take your questions now.
Questions, please. Is there any? Okay, Darian. If you have questions, please indicate by raising up your hand so that we can identify you.
Have you finished?
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
The punch. Okay, let's take the two.
Yes, go ahead.
My name is John Akumo. I write for the Guardian. Because of the...
Right.
So, on the floor today, the bill to amend the Electoral Act came up.
Yes.
Remember, in the Eighth Senate, it was returned back about 4 times. And eventually, for reason of closeness to election, the bill could not see the light of day. As senators in the upper chamber, what are you going to do to ensure this critical aspect is done so that the human interface in terms of election will reduce to the barest minimum? What are you going to do, sir?
Well, I can tell you that it was not the fault of the National Assembly that those bills were returned. And of course, we have also seen bills being signed in Nigeria a few days before an election. It has also happened. Of course, we didn't accept the reasons given for the assent to those bills. And the reason given, which of course we don't accept, has also shown itself today. Because if those bills were signed, I do not think that this, I mean, just take one aspect. In one of the local governments in Kogi, you had about 40,000 PVCs collected, and then 120,000 votes. And asked INEC itself that gave out the 40,000 PVCs still accepted that result. That will tell you the reason why we need this bill. And we're going to do everything to do our own job, which is to do the legislation and pass it along to the president for assent. It will now be his responsibility to listen to the yearnings of Nigerians for a credible election, because all that we want is a credible election. We want people to be elected on the basis of their performance or their campaigns or whatever, and let it be that the votes will count. Of course, with this one, I do not think that Professor Mahmood, even as a professor, will be able to manage to tell us how PVCs collected will be less than the number of votes in that area.
Okay, sir. My name is Sunday Abaribe from Punch newspapers. My question is on the Bayelsa election. A lot of opinion have established the fact that the poor management of the internal democracy within the PDP actually caused the party victory at the last election. As leaders of the party, what did you do to stop this crisis from boomeranging? the way it has
Well, let's just say that the internal dynamics of the party have nothing to do with people maiming and killing and then snatching ballot papers and then running away with that. That has nothing to do with that. So what we have to look at is how was the election managed, not the internal dynamics and all that. And all manners of speculations can come on about what really happened. But then, if somebody was shot and killed, that is a fact that we cannot run away from. So that is not to say that maybe those things did not happen. But what we're concerned about is management by INEC and the security agencies of the elections.
My name is Diligence, and I'm for this day. Yesterday, the president accused the National Assembly, specifically the House of Representatives, senators, that in the last 10 years, they collected as much as $1 trillion for constituency project, and there's nothing to show for it. And since yesterday, last 24 hours, the two chambers of the National Assembly has not given me fit to react. And even on the floor today, some of us thought maybe senators were raising. It was not raised. As leader of the minorities, and an active member of the past Senate, the 6th, 7th, and 8th, are you not worried by that statement?
No, we're not worried. The reason why we're not worried is that we know that it was a statement that was erroneous, that somebody must have written a speech and then put false information in the speech. I have done constituency projects, and we have always said that constituency projects are not done by the senators or the members of House of Rep. The constituency projects are domiciled in the executive who execute it. And so if the president said that he hasn't seen anything for it, he should ask his ministers and his agencies under him as the executive, because they are the people who have been executing these projects.
In connection to what your statement, sorry, Georgina, in connection to your statement regarding the management of elections by INEC, will the Senate legislate on and streamlining the number of political parties on the ballot papers? They are too much. They are too much.
Well, you know, the problem you have here is Section 36, I think, freedom of, 39, freedom of expression, freedom to hold your views, freedom, as opposed to election management. Anywhere else in the world, you have to cross a certain threshold to be able to qualify to be put on the ballot. And I think that since democracy is a work in action, and the process that we're going through, that we're very certain that we're going to get to that point where it becomes very, very difficult for us to carry this. I think I will also put this back on squarely back on INEC. If INEC does their due diligence, you will know that most of these parties don't exist anywhere else except in Abuja. And where they exist in Abuja, you will probably find them in sharing a room with somebody. So it's up to INEC to be able to do their due diligence. Make sure that all the stipulations for forming a party and registering it is strictly adhered to. If you do that, you will cut down immensely on this number of this. But we cannot muzzle people. We can decide that we will form a party for my local government. That it should be my decision. But if I form a party for my local government, then INEC conducts election only in my local government, not for INEC to now, for the party I formed in my local government, now I want you to go to Sokoto to go and vote for me when the people don't know anything about me. That is really the issue. So it still comes back to INEC being able to utilize all these huge funds that we give them to do their job.
Last question, please.
Distinguished, good afternoon. My name is Anayo Akuti. I report for Hotel from Abuja. Today, a bill for an act to make provisions for the protection from internet fraud actually passed second reading. And remember that the last time there was a bill, the anti-hate speech bill, which you personally you made a comment about. Are these two bills the same?
No. Internet fraud and all that not the same with hate bill. So every bill can pass first, second, whatever. It will still have to be, yes, it's not. Thank you very much.
Thank you.